it is. Hello, welcome to Vicious Intelligence. And we are here, if you look right down at the bottom, at learnhtml.org. And that's where we will be learning for free HTML and CSS. So, welcome to HTML, the easiest way to learn HTML and CSS. And it is a very interactive tutorial that explains how to build HTML and CSS websites step by step. The basic tutorial will guide you through the creating a page using the Bootstrap CSS framework. The advanced tutorials will guide you through all there is to know regarding HTML and CSS. We have a lot of material to cover. I don't know anything about HTML, so this is going to be new for me. Everything is new for me like it is for you. So look down at the bottom. We need to write hello world. And in between the paragraphs here, we need to write hello. Run it. Hello world. Next, we're going to take a look at some basic elements. Basic elements of HTML are H1, H2, H3, H4. Those are the headlines, paragraph, horizontal ruler. You have an anchor. You have unlisted and unlisted order, order listed, and list element, image, divider, and text. And it just goes on to explain the type of CSS style that you will use. Okay. It's time to get started with some HTML. So we're doing text headers and paragraphs. There are 6 different types of text headers you can choose from, H1 being the topmost heading and the largest text, and H6 being the most inner heading with the smallest text. In general, you should have only one H1 tag with the page, since it should be the primary description of the HTML page. Let's look at an example of H1, H2, and paragraph tags in action. You got your opening, your head, your body, and we have my first page. You see, you have the opening and the closing tag for the header. The paragraph is next, my first page. This is where your paragraph goes. You have H2 as a secondary header, and then you have another paragraph, open and close paragraph right here. As I'm learning, I am looking for HTML pad. Notepad is really good. Right now I have HTML pad 2020, and it's just a free version. So we're just going to go right in here and type our title, HTML. Alright, so we're going to put the H1 heading. Alright, and right in the middle, we're just going to type what we see there, my first page. Okay. So next is the paragraph, so just hit enter on your keyboard, and we're going to type paragraph, and it finished typing it for you. And in the paragraph, we're going to put this is my first page. Then we're going to go down, we're going to put HR. You don't need a closing tag for that, as you can see. So under that, we're going to put another paragraph. We're just going to get started right here, and we're going to put, this is the footer. All rights are reserved to me. As you can tell, we got everything that we need right here, so it is the same. So we could just bump this back up right here if we want to. Okay, so if you look right over here to your right, you can see everything that you wrote out in code. So the title right here, the headline right here, my first page right here, paragraph, this is my first page right here. This is my first page. This is the footer. All rights are reserved to me. So this is the footer. All rights are reserved to me. And this is just what it looks like when you are building the web page. So we can go back and add it. And you can see that it's written out right there for you. Okay, so next the exercise calls for 3. Add an HTML H1 tag with the text I am the most important, H2 tag with the text I am the least important, and an H6 tag with the text I am the least important. Alright. So we're going to get started with that. Okay, so we're just going to title this Headlines. So the first tag we want to put is H1. And right inside that H1, we are going to put I am the most important, with the exclamation mark. Now, as you can tell, I just went on ahead and did all the headlines for you. We got H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. And you can see what they look like and why they are called headlines. Yes, in this next tutorial, we're going to take a look at links. A link or an anchor is a small span of text that would direct you to a different section in the page or a different page. To create a link, you will need to specify where you would like the user to be directed to when the link is clicked by specifying the href attribute. That's what that stands for, HTML reference. Let's take a look at some examples. Here you have an anchor with the reference going to Google, and it's a link to Google with a closing anchor. To create a link to a different section in the same page, you will need to use a hash sign along with the element ID to where you would like the browser to jump to. For example, click here to read frequently asked questions, and you can see the hash sign right there if you want it to stay on the same page. So if you have different tabs you would like someone to go to, you put a hash sign in front of it. The element ID is denoted using the ID attribute. Here you have the H3 tag with the ID attribute equals frequently asked questions, followed by a closed H3 tag. So let's take a look and see how this would look in HTML text editor or editor. Okay, so you can see right here we have our H3 and our paragraph. We have our H3 and our paragraph. Okay, and that's exactly what you write. Now for here we could just copy and paste, but I actually want to sit down and write it out. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to sit and write it out, and then we're going to come back to it. Okay, thank you. So we're going to write it out right here. This is my first page, so I'm going to go back so you can actually see me writing it out. Alright, and we just need to get rid of one of these to make it correct. And there we go. Okay, we're going to write out the paragraph in the editor. And the reason I want to type it out because this really helps me to get used to typing better and using keys that I don't normally use on a day-to-day basis. Alright, now we're going to set the anchor, and inside the anchor we're going to write the reference. And you do need a space between the anchor and the reference. So do remember that. And we need quotation marks. So we're going to go with the hashtag because we do want them to stay on the same page, and that's what the hashtag means, is to stay on the same page. Now in between that we're going to put click here to read frequently asked questions. Okay, I was trying to figure out what was wrong and why my reference was showing up in my tag right here. And so as you can tell, I closed off my anchor, which is, you look over here, you can see that it is open. So let's see if we open it, what happens, and then give it a space. So it does give the reference click, and if you click it, nothing's going to happen. So that's what it looks like. It creates a link with the line up under it. Okay, let's go over that one more time. So if you close it right here, it will show up on your web page. It will show up on your web page. So remember to leave the anchor open. Leave it open, but close it on the closing tag. Alright, so now we're just going to go to the next section. We're going to do a header tag right here. And we just want to leave it open because we want the ID attribute. And again, you type in frequently asked questions. Like to put a little period there. You don't have to. So this is what it looks like. And then you go to the next one, which is a paragraph. And the first rule, if I can. Okay, and you can see that. So I'm gonna try the next line of code here. I'm gonna go with setting the anchor. We got that far. I know the equal sign goes there after the reference, and then quotation marks. Okay. And then we put google.com. Okay, so when it's red like that, I guess it means something's wrong. Okay, so the link does work. If you run it and look right over here and click on the link, it does run straight to Google, as you can tell. Now, if we take that same code and put it inside a HTML pad 2020, and when we go to Google, it clicks on it, and there we are. Everything runs just as it should with the correct code.